Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess, and let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. Now, last night, NFL. Bengals beat the Panthers. The Falcons beat the Saints. Texans beat the Jaguars. Vikings beat the Packers. The Broncos beat the Jets. Colts beat the Steelers. The Bears beat the Rams. The 49ers beat the Patriots. The Buccaneers beat the Eagles. Commanders beat the Cardinals. Chiefs beat the Chargers. Ravens beat the Bills. And Raiders beat the Browns. Now, in Monday Night Football, who's playing tonight? Because usually it's on the sheet and I don't see it. Well, in WNBA scores, the Liberty beat the Aces 87-77, and the Sun beat the Lynx 73-70. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. So, let's get into some news. In case you missed it, on Friday, New York City Mayor Adams, he was in court where he pled not guilty to federal corruption charges. Adams was hit with a 5-count indictment on Thursday, claiming he accepted bribes like lavish trips and illegal campaign contributions from foreign officials. Now, he was released on his own signature and gave the thumbs up after leaving the courthouse. Now, after Adams' arraignment at Manhattan Federal Court, defense attorney Alex Shapiro said his client is innocent. And this week, they plan to file a motion to dismiss what he calls the airline upgrade corruption case. Now, let's hear more from Mayor Adams' attorney, Alex Shapiro.
There are no emails, text messages, or any corroboration whatsoever that the mayor knew about anything having to do with these campaign donations. The entire body of evidence is one staffer, and the government is in possession of that lie. When that staffer was first interviewed, that staffer said that Mayor Adams knew nothing about this, he was not involved in this, and that he is innocent.
Yeah, so Adams was warned not to skip any of the hearings or interfere with the case. Meanwhile, there are calls for him to step down, and those continue to grow. Also, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo reportedly plans to run for mayor if the New York City pushes Adams out. The New York Post reports that Cuomo is telling city power brokers that he's in it to win it if Adams is forced to leave or if he drops out or, resigns. If Adams does depart, that would trigger a nonpartisan special election in New York City. Cuomo resigned as governor back in 2021 as a result of sexual misconduct scandal.
Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see them put Mayor Adams in handcuffs, right? And I didn't see a mugshot either, right?
No, I didn't see that at all.
Okay.
You normally don't see mugshots. A lot of times you won't see mugshots in New York.
Well, I'm not. Well, that's not true. But from the elected officials, though, I'm not mad at it though because they didn't put Trump in handcuffs and he didn't have a mugshot. So if there's going to be a level of privilege for elected officials or former elected officials, as long as it's across the board, I'm fine with it.
They've been handling. Remember, I told you that though. Like they wouldn't answer any questions after the indictment dropped, which they did immediately for Diddy and other people. They've been handling like he's an official. In my opinion, they wouldn't answer questions at the press conference, which they normally always do. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to step down. He said he's going to step up. I seen him in front with a bunch of church officials and leaders of the church, and he said he's going to fight it.
I think he should step down.
No, I don't think he should step down.
Not at all.
I think you're innocent until proven guilty.
That's right.
And the main reason I don't think he should step down is because of President Donald Trump. That's just how I feel. If President Donald Trump can still run for president with all of the charges that he's facing, I think that,
well, he was convicted.
He actually was convicted and still running.
That's right.
So I think Mayor Adams should stay in.
That's
and,
right.
and I think that's the problem with liberals and Democrats, right? Like they love to cannibalize their own, like calling for him to step down. Republicans would never do that, and they wouldn't do it after the person gets convicted. So I don't think he should step down. No.
Okay, well, speaking of which, Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, Mark Robinson, he was treated for second-degree burns over the weekend following an incident at a campaign event on Friday night. According to a statement released by communications director for Robinson's campaign, he was treated at a Mount Airy hospital and soon released after. He was apparently walking around a truck and accidentally laid his hand on a hot tailpipe. Has he done that before? No, just kidding. But he is just fine now, so he is at home recovering. Robinson has, of course, he's been in some controversy as it's been reported that he made racist and sexually explicit comments on a porn site, calling himself a black Nazi and also saying that America should bring back slavery. So, we'll continue to watch what's going on with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson out of North Carolina, who has also decided not to step down. And Envy, you were talking about sports. So Monday night matchups, the Dolphins and the Titans, and then, of course, the Seahawks are going to Detroit to beat
Mo, can you tell me about what did you say about laying hands on a hot tailpipe? What the hell was that?
I bet you. I knew you would like that. No, Mark Robinson, the guy out of North Carolina who was you gave him donkey. I
know, but I don't know if I gave him donkey. But what was he just wanted to put his hand?
Over the weekend, he burned his hand. He burned his hand. He was
okay.
And he's recovering.
He heard hot tailpipe and got excited.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's all you heard was hot tailpipe.
No, you just kind of sped by it. I was just like, what the hell? What happened now? He did what?
Yeah, well, I've got more, but we'll talk about it in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll catch up with the presidential candidates as they've been on the campaign trail. Very busy this weekend.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Now, let's start off with some sports. Now, the Bengals beat the Panthers. Falcons beat the Saints. Texans beat the Jaguars. Vikings beat the Packers. Broncos beat the Jets. Colts beat the Steelers. Bears beat the Rams. The 49ers beat the Patriots. Buccaneers beat the Eagles. Commanders beat the Cardinals. The Chiefs beat the Chargers, Ravens beat the Bills, and the Raiders beat the Browns. Now, in Monday Night Football, the Dolphins take on the Titans at 7:30. Seahawks play the Lions at 8:15. And I'm just going to give you some WNBA playoff scores. The Liberty beat the Aces last night, 87-77. They lead the series 1-0. And the Sun beat the Lynx last night, 73-70. They lead the series 1-0 as well. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Let's talk about what happened over the weekend with these presidential candidates. So former President Donald Trump, he was busy on the campaign trail over the weekend. He held rallies in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, which are all battleground states. Now, this comes as a new ICE report says the Biden-Harris administration has let 425,000 illegal immigrants who are convicted criminals into the U.S. Now, during the rallies, Trump slammed Vice President Kamala Harris on immigration, called the numbers inexcusable, and added that the administration's border policies are letting thousands of violent criminals into our country. Let's hear from Donald Trump.
You know, I had 1 year where Border Patrol said no terrorists came in. I had another year where they said 11 came in. Thousands of terrorists are pouring into our country now. These are stone-cold killers, and they let in people that are worse than any criminal we have. If Kamala Harris gets 4 more years, America as we know it will absolutely be destroyed.
So Trump also spoke about the influx of Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, claimed that the town is destroyed as a result, and he urged the Springfield, Ohio Mayor Rob Roux to speak out against the migrants and do more. Now, Rob Roux who is a Republican, he's along party lines for Trump. He has spoken out. In fact, he has told the former president that, and Senator J.D. Vance, that, his comments about Haitians eating pets and all of those things, they're not helping. And maybe you should stay away from Springfield and not visit because your comments aren't helping. Anyways, Trump's comments, they come 2 days after Harris visited the southern border in Arizona in an attempt to cut down on the former president's polling lead on immigration. Now, while visiting Douglas, Arizona, VP Harris talked about Border Patrol leaders, or she spoke with Border Patrol leaders, rather, about securing the area and promised 1,500 new border officers, 100 new inspection systems, and an updated training program if elected. She emphasized her work on brokering a bipartisan border deal that Trump told Republican congressmen to vote down earlier this year. Let's hear those comments from VP Harris.
He did not solve the shortage of immigration judges. He did not solve the shortage of border agents. He did not create lawful pathways into our nation. He did nothing to address an outdated asylum system. I will reach across the aisle and I will embrace common sense approaches and new technologies to get the job done. And so even though Donald Trump tried to sabotage the border security bill, it is my pledge to you that as President of the United States, I will bring it back up and proudly sign it into law.
You guys have any thoughts on the border?
I don't have any thoughts on the border, but I do have thoughts on the fact that a lot of that stuff that that the vice president is saying, man, she need to be saying it during football games. Because I'll tell you what, that ad they was running during the football games this weekend claiming the vice president supports funding gender transition surgeries for all prison inmates and migrants in the U.S., that was nuts.
I don't know if it was. I wouldn't say nuts, but that was crazy.
That was funny.
I don't know if it was the backdrop of football. But when you hear the narrator say Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners, that one line, I was like, hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that.
I definitely see that. She did
that ad was effective.
Kamala took a picture with a transgender. And it was this what they were saying, that it made it seem like Kamala supports transgender sex changes in jail with our money. That's what it came across.
Yeah,
Isn't that what they're saying?
It literally said that Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners, and it talks about how she supports funding gender transition surgeries for all prison inmates and migrants in the United States. That ad was impactful. It was. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn.
Was it because it was during football?
Yes.
I think it was because it was during football.
But then last week, like the contrast of it.
Yes.
But then last week they had the same thing running on Tim Walsh and said he likes tampons in boys' bathrooms.
I would not have paid that. I don't think I would have paid that commercial no attention if it was any other time. But when you're watching football and you just what the hell? In between beer commercials, they give you this?
Okay, well, meanwhile, VP Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz, they are launching a nationwide HBCU tour across the battleground states. They made the announcement over the weekend on Saturday and kicked off the event tailgating at Winston-Salem State University, also marking their 132nd Founders Day. In a press release, the Harris-Walz campaign recognized how HBCU homecoming season remains one of the most significant celebrations of HBCU culture that takes place annually across the country. And of course, the statement goes on to say, as a proud graduate of Howard University, Vice President Harris understands the pivotal role that HBCUs have played in achieving its principal mission, the education of Black Americans, thereby reshaping American democracy for almost 2 centuries. Now, of course, she again kicked off their HBCU tour, homecoming tour at Winston-Salem State University over the weekend. Coming up is Lincoln University, Virginia State University, Howard University, North Carolina, A&T, Clark, Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, Spellhouse. So if you guys go to those schools, or if you're headed there, you might want to plan ahead, because you might have some extra visitors coming in for those homecomings.
There's no way the vice president is going to be able to hit all of those schools. Like 3 of those homecomings are on the same day, right?
Why Delaware State not on the list?
She ain't got time.
So Lincoln University and Virginia State are both October 12th, and then Howard and North Carolina A&T and Clark, Atlanta are all on
the 19th.
October.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll definitely do Howard. I'm sure she'll do Howard. She graduated from she graduated from Howard.
But still, even if she didn't, she would still go there.
She graduated from Howard, so I'm sure she'll do Howard.
Spelman, and Morehouse get everything.
You'll get some surrogates wearing Kamala t-shirts, but there's no way she's gonna be at all of those.
Or they might split them up. Maybe Walsh should go to one, but it wouldn't make sense for Walsh to go. But
do y'all want to see Walsh at the HBCU?
No, not at HBCU, not at all.
Oh no! Nope. Speaking of Walsh, though, you guys do know that on Tuesday there is a vice presidential debate that's happening on CBS News, right? The network announced the rules on Friday for the debate between Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz and his GOP counterpart J.D. Vance. While the mics won't be muted, the network said it reserves the right to turn off the candidates' mics. In the 2 presidential debates this summer, the mics were muted unless it was the candidate's turn to speak. The network also said, by network I mean CBS News, said that Vance won a virtual coin toss for the right to choose when he will give whether he will be first or close out the statement. He has not decided as of yet.
What do y'all think about tomorrow's debate? Are y'all watching?
Excuse me. He has decided that he will speak after Walz, so he will have the closing statement. J.D. Vance will. Say that again?
Because the New York Liberty and Las Vegas Aces got game 2 tomorrow. What y'all watching? Y'all watching that, or y'all wating
the debate or WNBA?
People don't care about this debate. Why?
I'm watching
like
Liberty.
People really, it's not the same. I mean, I get it. The Kamala Trump thing was bigger, but people don't care.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Like I was, even when I was talking about the ads, when I say it's not about what you say, it's where you say it. I don't know if a lot of Tim Walz's, attacks, I don't want to say attacks, but the things he's been saying about J.D. Vance, like calling him weird, I don't know if that's going to stick on the debate stage. Because as soon as he calls him weird, then J.D. Vance going to call him Tampon Tim and say, you wanted to put tampons in the male bathroom, and you want people to be able to get penises out of vending machines. Like he's going, and when you hear that right on I'm just saying, when you hear that on a national stage, you're gonna be like, what? He wanted to put tampons in the men's bathroom. Like it's just gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know how that one's gonna play out.
I'm gonna watch it to answer your question though. I'm watching it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I was gonna say I'll probably watch both. You know how we do. So anyways, that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media, and for more news coverage, you can follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app. We've got your news coverage, and visit visit PINnews.com. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.